Okay, so here we have a scan of an impression, a mandibular impression. So we did 2 scans. Here's the first one, and this one's to scan interproximals. So generally, the software will try to align things by itself first, but in this case, I'm actually going to do it myself because I'll be just trying to show you how it can be done fairly easy as well. So you just pick 3 points that are similar on both scans and try to stagger them if you can, like that. And let's put one right here and one right there, and software will line it up together pretty good. So we do have a couple of little voids, but they're mostly on interproximals and areas that are not important, so I'm completely fine with this. So I'm just going to press OK, and it's just lining everything up together and building it. So, you know, in the order form, I just chose pretty much anything. I chose missing tooth with no antagonist, chose an impression, full arch, and chose scan interproximals. So now it's showing me pretty much everything, and I have an option just to clean up my scans, which I'm going to do. So let's move this right here a little bit like this. Click right here. So I got a bunch of areas where the putty is sitting, which I don't need. So I'm just going to trim this right out. Right here. Trim on the side. And depending on how the computer is, that's how fast the program is going to run through. I mean, because it's dealing with a lot of information. And then we're going to do this area right here, because we don't need that either. Because none of that is part of the impression. It's just a bunch of putty that I have sitting right there so I can scan things easier without it moving. And that should be sufficient. Press this tooth right there to finish the build. Just slowly going into orange a little bit. Just my computer is not as strong to handle major processes. It still handles it, just takes a little bit of time. I haven't had it freeze up or anything with this program, but it does take a little bit. So now it's finished building, and you see there are no holes anymore. So the software itself just took those minimal holes and just kind of cleaned them all up. All right, so that's my impression that's scanned in. All right, let's go ahead and save that and exit, and that's a no. So what I'm going to do now is minimize my my program. I'm going to start and open it up, and I take my scan and actually open it up with Meshmixer right here. It's going to take a little bit of time to load, and now I pretty much have it already reversed. I have my model. Now I have all these areas right here that I need to clean up, but if you look on the teeth, they're all there, and all the other areas, including retromolar pads, are all there. So the way I clean things up, I start slow. So let's say, for example, this area right here, we don't need that, right? So I go into select. I'm just going to go right here. Just select all of this. That is not necessary. Right here, and delete it. Okay. So now that I have cleaned up all the edges, just making sure I got information that I really need retained. There's obviously some areas right here that are going to be a bit problematic, like you have an area right here, because when you drag this down, it's going to cause me some issues, but it's not going to be too big of an issue. Maybe something like this here might cause me some problems. Well, let's take a look and see what we can do. So the way that I actually create a base is I'll zoom all the way in, and I'll reduce the size of the brush to 0. And I try to click on the edge, making sure that I highlight just the edge. And you see how I highlighted the whole thing? It's not going to work for me. So it will take me a little bit sometimes, but it worked this time just fine. So I highlighted just the edge. Now I'm going to press O for optimize boundary and B for smooth boundary and then press accept. So now I have this area selected. I can press T for transform and choose W for world orientation. So when I drag down this, it's going to be just fine. But you see some areas where I have the undercuts, it's going to cause me some little issues or tears, which are usually not a big deal. I can clean those up fairly easily. And sometimes I don't even need to, but just in case when I have to bring it into 3Shape or something, I'm going to do that anyways. Okay, let's press accept. Alright, now we're good. And now at this point we need to fix our errors like this blue one. So we're going to press I. Oh, my bad, sorry. I did not deselect things, so I have to press, when you press I and you have something selected, it just inverts the selection. So how to repair all? So this is going to take a little bit of time, and my audio can probably skip a little bit sometimes when the computer is doing a lot of work, and I do apologize. So it looks like it fixed this area right here, and you see these little tears and stuff. So let's go ahead and try to fix them. So I'm going to go into Sculpt, Brushes Plus, size about 30. Just go right through here and just add a little bit of material just so I don't have these possible issues down the line. The computer saying, you know, you have scan that's been penetrating or something like this. So I don't know. Let's do this. I'll just go a little bit bigger. So I'm just adding mesh to it, you know, just closing up the holes and adding mesh. I don't even know if these are actual holes or just the way that mesh is appearing on the, you know, on the graphic interface or something, but just to be on the safe side, because these areas I'm not, you know, my denture is not going to go into this undercut, right? So I'm not too worried about it. It's good, it's good, it's good. Just a little more right here. Alright, that seems to be fixed. So now what I need to do is I need to actually create a hollow model. So I'll go into Edit Hollow. Because for printing, hollow models work a lot better because there's less material, so there's not as much distortion when you're curing things. So accept. Okay, but now I need to make it correct height, right, for the base. I can rotate this, like I can transform this and actually rotate it so it looks like more within proper orientation, because I know my retromode path here, my retromode path here, and I'm going to kind of get things aligned a little bit better, just so when I cut the base it doesn't look like the model is skewed. And oftentimes I find if I turn it around like this, it actually helps me line things up a little bit better. I found that out in the analog way when I'm setting teeth. Sometimes when you look from the underside, things just make sense a little bit better. So did I screw this up a little bit? Yeah, I did. Let's go this way a little bit more. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, accept, edit, and plane cut. So now I will not be able to line it up exactly to 90 degrees because my model is rotated. So about here looks good. Seems a little off to me. Let's just do it like this a little bit more. Oh, let me cancel this out. I think I've rotated this enough. You know what is going to help me? I know exactly what's going to help me. I'm going to show the printer bed. And I'm going to use my printer bed as my leveling. So that's what I'm going to do. So now that I have a flat plane that I can visualize, I can actually rotate things a little bit better. Right there-ish. Yeah, I think that's correct. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to do plane cut. Right there's good. Accept. And then view printer bed. Now we got ourselves a model that we can actually print. Only thing I'm going to do is maybe just clean this up a little bit. So select, just going to take this edge all the way down, edit, erase and fill, like this. And same thing here. Okay, accept, clear selection. And same thing here, yes. Accept, clear, and then we're going to smooth this just a little bit. So brushes, robust smooth. I'm just going to go right here and clean this right up. Perfect. Now we're done. So last thing before we export the file, we have to go into Analysis, Inspector, make sure there are no errors like this one, for example, and fix it. So now our model is done. It's just a little askew on this area, but right here. That's going to be our flat. Now we can print it and use it as a duplicate to fit the case on, or, you know, we can actually use silicone or hydrocolloid. I generally just use alternate to duplicate these, so it's up to you guys. In my case, I'm using this to fit to after processing, because I'm just still going to probably just pour up the polyvinyl. So that's how I do things. Hope this helped you guys, and as always, good luck.